Hey guys, Aaron Wilson. I'm here in Baltimore, where I used to cover the Ravens for 15 years, including the Super Bowl squad with Ray Lewis and Joe Flacco. And covering the Texans now, it's been a little different experience. On the other side of the coin, the Texans are 2-13 against Baltimore all time. The last time they beat the Ravens was in 2014. So the Texans are 0-5 all time against Lamar Jackson. But Lamar Jackson won't be playing in this football game, ruled out due to a hamstring injury, along with a lot of other key personnel for Baltimore, which includes Marlon Humphrey and Roquan Smith and Nnamdi Madubuike and Chidobe Awuzie. And Texans, definitely have an edge in terms of the health department. The Texans are relatively healthy. Yes, they placed Foley Fatukasi in injury reserve with a shoulder injury, but they've got lots of depth. They've got Tommy Togiai working behind Mario Edwards Jr. and Sheldon Rankins, and pretty soon they'll have Denico Autry up. So in this matchup, the Texans, of course, owe the Ravens quite a few lumps in this matchup, and as they square off against them again here at M&T Bank Stadium. This is the place where the Texans season ended 2 years ago in the divisional round. This is also a team that DeMeco Ryans was 0-2 against when he was a Pro Bowl linebacker for the Texans. So it's a especially painful past, and you guys know about the embarrassing Christmas game. Who could forget it? 31-2 on Netflix with Beyonce in the house before an international audience. It was a game that the Texans players, including Nico Collins, say they won't ever forget. And Will Anderson Jr. called it embarrassing, and I agree with them. They were a contender and a team that won the AFC South for the second year in a row, but yet they were not even competitive against a good AFC North team. And then when they faced the Kansas City Chiefs, a similarly talented franchise, they lose in the divisional round again, where they're 0-6 all time. For the Texans to take the next step in their development as a franchise and in this season, they need to be able to win games like this, especially against a wounded duck like the Ravens. The Ravens have one of the worst injury situations I've seen. I've been covering the NFL for a long time. To not have Lamar Jackson, an MVP of the NFL, out there at quarterback, to have to go with Cooper Rush, a backup that the Texans beat last year when he was playing for the Dallas Cowboys when he stepped in for Dak Prescott. This is a prime opportunity to win a game. I'll go further. The Texans are supposed to win this game. They need to win this game. They need to be 2-3 going into the bye. And then they'll pick up things. The offense is just starting to hit stride. The fourth quarter looked like a step in the right direction. Felt like it to me and to a lot of people around the Texans building. Nick Caley and CJ Stroud are starting to get on the same page. You're starting to see the progress of a team that really, we probably underestimated how tough it would be for them to learn and absorb a whole new playbook with a lot of new verbiage and more influence from the New England Patriots than the Sean McVay system coming from the Rams. So Nick Caley, back to his old roots, some of that Tom Brady stuff, but for CJ Stroud, it's coming off his best football game since that playoff win over the Cleveland Browns a couple years ago. And I thought with CJ, we had a separate video about this, please check it out, about CJ's growth, his maturity, and kind of where he is and where the state of the offense is. Woody Marks can make a difference in this game. The Texans have a good running game with Marks in the game and working in tandem with Nick Chubb. Baltimore has the worst scoring defense in the NFL. They are also 31st in yards. The Ravens, of course, have you look at, their situation. Yeah, Ronnie Stanley might play. He's got an ankle injury. They've got a lot of issues with their offense, but they still have good personnel at the skill positions. Like Zay Flowers, a very dynamic wide receiver, excellent after the catch. Former Texans wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins, still very good at drawing penalties and making contested catches. Mark Andrews, who understands space very well as a tight end. They also have Rashad Bateman, an underrated player in my opinion. Their offensive line hasn't been very good other than Tyler Lindenbaum, who should have been a Texan instead of Kenyon Green, but everybody knows that. 2020 hindsight, right? So for the Texans, the things they need to do, the keys to victory: run the football. Don't stop running. This thing can work with Woody Marks. I think he's good enough, especially with Roquan Smith, who wasn't even having a good season, not playing in this game. You look at the expansion of the passing game, the audibles, the plays from CJ Stroud, throwing to Jaden Higgins. That's him thinking on the fly, adapting to what he sees from the defense. That's thinking man's football. That's what the Texans need. They cannot turn the ball over. They need to be sound on special teams. They need to be able to win the kicking battle. Ka'imi Fairbairn hasn't kicked that well away from Houston at times, and that includes at this stadium. So they need a good day out of the kicking game. They need good returns from Jalen Knoll. They have Damon Arnett Jr. up for the first time, his first NFL regular season game since 2021, before a series of bad decisions, legal problems, and personal issues led to him being out of the NFL, exiled basically, and then finally reviving his career in the UFL with the Houston Roughnecks. And so for him, this represents a real milestone to play in a game. I expect him to be on special teams. Derrick Stingley Jr. should be full go. He had a full participation practice on Friday, so they get him out there. Will Anderson Jr. is off the injury report. Nico Collins is full participation. So those are all the good news for the Texans. And there's not a lot of bad news. The Texans are healthy, they're rested enough, and they should be able to take care of business. But they have a poor history in this building. They haven't won a game against that team, since 2014, and that was in Houston. Like I said, no Lamar Jackson, but Cooper Rush, good pocket quarterback, gets the ball out. They need to get a lot of pressure on him. Another key to the game. Daniil Hunter, Will Anderson Jr., they got to get after Rush, make him uncomfortable in the pocket. The other thing that the Texans need, they've got to involve other people, not just Nico Collins. They've got to throw the ball to Jaden Higgins, Jalen Knoll, Dalton Schultz. All those guys need to get in the game. They've got to use and spread the football around more. That would help them. The offensive line needs to build off of ranking 15th in pressure rate last week. And keep in mind, that sack that they allowed, I'm not making excuses for it, but that was a screw up. That wasn't like, oh, they can't block Jeffrey Simmons. I mean, it was ugly, but literally no one tried to block him. That was just a complete and total screw up, and they got to hope that they don't do that again. At the defensive level, so there's a lot of tackling that you need to do. You got to be able to get him on the ground, as Azeez Al-Shaair said so well. When it comes to Derrick Henry, King Henry, as some call him, the 5-time Pro Bowl runner that ran for 2,000 yards one year, you have to get him stopped before he gets started. So you got to get in front of the train. That's how Azeez put it. I couldn't agree more. It's a great analogy. Or a runaway truck, for that matter. It's like he's running downhill at you. 6'2", 252 pounds, and really one of the more chiseled specimens at the running back position in terms of bulk, power, former Alabama Heisman Trophy winner, just a great football player. And 4 of his 6 200-yard career games at the expense of the Texans, who have allowed the most yards against him of any back against the franchise. So you look at where they're at now. To win the game, you really have to play a clean football game. You got to get a lead, and you got to demoralize the Ravens, who are 1-3, just like the 1-3 Texans. But they're a well-coached team. They're a former Super Bowl squad. They got 2 Super Bowl rings at the Castle, their training facility in Owings Mills. So I covered the Ravens for a long time. I know what they're made of. They are a very competitive bunch. They're not going to just lay down. This is going to be a tough game. And I predict the Texans win a close game. Yes, I said it. I think the Texans win this game. They need to win it, and they can win it. But to do so, they got to bottle up what they had in the fourth quarter. They can't just let the Ravens hang around and let Cooper Rush get into a rhythm. He's an accurate thrower of the football. He's got targets. If they don't disrupt the timing, then they can have problems on defense. As good as they are on defense, they are 12th against the run, and that's probably where their vulnerability lies. Look at the Tampa Bay game. Look what Bucky Irving did. That proves to me that you can run against the Texans up the middle. So Azeez Al-Shaair, Henry To'oTo'o, and EJ Speed, the primary linebackers, they got to fill gaps. They got to shut it down. If they do that and they get good tackling from Jalen Petrie, some run blitzes, some help from the secondary, then they can get Derrick Henry down. It takes gang tackling, meaning everybody to the ball, run to the ball, and get a hat on Derrick Henry. You cannot be sure that he's going down. The game that they played really well, and it was a great game plan by DeMeco Ryans, and that was when he was playing for the Tennessee Titans in Nashville in the cold. They were hitting him as soon as he got the football, especially Christian Harris. And while Christian Harris is not a big part of the defense right now, the philosophy remains the same. They need to get him on the ground. They got to hit him. You got to hit him hard, and they can win this game and head back to Houston, 2-3, and their season looking a whole lot different. It can happen, but they got to make it happen, and I'm making it happen. We'll have coverage for you, of course, at KPRC2, and at www.click2houston.com. Please check out all of that coverage. And of course, I'm on Twitter and X at @AaronWilson_NFL and Instagram AaronWilson7128. Please watch, like, subscribe. The channel is growing. We're getting close to 18,000 subscribers and looking for some businesses if you want to get involved and ride this wave of momentum for a growing content creator channel that I have big plans for. I haven't had really quite 12 months yet. On October 13th, it'll be 12 months of YouTube for me, and it's new for me, and I'm still having fun, enjoying, and experimenting with it. So guys, please watch, please like, please subscribe, and join the member club. We have that available as well. Talk to you soon. Thanks, bye.
So I don't think it's changed from that aspect. Obviously, I played with Derrick in Tennessee. He's a physical back, big dude, Daniel Hunter. So, I just think it just fits what they're trying to do. And you talk about just the NFL in general. It's always a one-on-one. You got to win your one-on-one matchup. So they take that, obviously, one-on-one and try to be physical.
Is there a key to stopping or slowing down Derrick?
Oh man, you gotta get in front of him, man. You know they say don't get in front of a moving train, but you gotta get in front of that train before he gets going. So, like I say, he's a great player. Obviously, he's Hall of Fame type player. He's number 6 player in his career. Never respect for him. He's like a brother. So, it's gonna be a good game for sure.
Aziz, it's another road game.
I don't know if going against a team makes it easier or worse. I think we play a team in the division, for example, you play them twice. That was in San Francisco. We played the Rams twice every year, and then we played them a third time in the playoffs, and they ended up beating us in the playoffs. We beat them the first 2 times. So it's just so unique. Every game is its own game, but you can definitely learn from things that maybe work or didn't work.
Aziz,
you guys are Baltimore, you grew up a Vegas fan. Is there anything for her that she could be rooting any different way?
We grew up like that, but once I got older, I'm a professional, it's my job, so I'm sure you love KPRC Channel 2. That's your favorite news channel, because they're who you work for. So it's the same thing, I think as I got older, it's different. But my mom is my biggest fan. So.
What's different about preparing for them physically?
It's always good to go against some of the best in the league.
Jalen, when you look at the matchup, you guys have been up there a lot of times. What does it take to win in Baltimore, in your opinion?
Execution. It's simple to that. Like, anytime we play Baltimore, not Baltimore, when we've executed and done things the right way, we've won because we have the players to do that. But when we don't execute, when we let people hang around, when we do things that's not Texan-like, that's when we end up losing. So at the end of the day, it's just all about execution and making sure that we're on our P's and Q's.
It's one game, but the franchise as a whole for a lot of years, even going back to the D'Amico era, there have been a lot of L's to, it's 13-2. Does the Christmas game and this stuff, do you throw it out the window, or do you say, hey, you know what, there's a little tiny bit extra motivation to get this done?
Yeah, for sure. You can use that as motivation, like you said. Me personally, it's another game that I got to go out there and execute and make plays for the team to win.
Yeah, like you said, we haven't, franchise having to win at Baltimore in a while, so that's a challenge to us, that's a challenge to the organization to go out there and just have fun, go get that win that we're going to be inching for years, But respect to Baltimore, man, it's a great team over there, great franchise, it's the reason why they've been winning so long, it's balanced over there, it's a pretty good team, but excited for the matchup, man, on the road, coming off the win, it's no better feeling on the road, yes, sir.
Nico, while it is a new year, the Christmas game wasn't that long ago, and it is a lot of the same players.
Right.
Is that a motivation?
For sure, man. We got killed on Christmas on Netflix. Home field. That was crazy. That was not the way we wanted to, turn out. But took the page, and we got another opportunity this week. To go on the road again in Baltimore. And go out and just be ourselves. Another opportunity to go out and compete against them boys. Can't wait for it. It's gonna be fun.
It's not the defense that they had envisioned heading into the season, but over the years they have such a tradition for defense.
Yes, sir. Man, that's a solid team over there, man. Both sides of the ball, so we got to make sure we come ready. We got to bring our best ball as well, which I know we will. and take one play at a time, one rep at a time, and go out there and be ourselves.
CJ and also Coach Ryans were talking about how the offense is starting to head in the right direction. Do you feel that way that because of the less penalties and the turnovers down, that you're now at a point where you guys can do some things?
Yeah, for sure. I agree. That's what you, as an offense, you want to have negative turnovers, take care of the ball, get on track, stay on track. That's what you want. Put points on the board. That's what you want in offense. And even as the losses we have, it hasn't been like that. It's hard to get on track, not taking care of the ball, and that's how you get losing this league. But I feel like for us, man, we got to continue to hold on to the ball as an offense. Stay on track and take one play at a time. And I feel like you do that and go execute, man, anything can happen.
Nico, in the offseason, Nico, during the draft, the team went out and they got a lot of offensive help. They brought in a lot of rookies as far as Ariante Ursary and Jalen and Woody on the offensive side of the ball. How have you seen those guys start to evolve?
A lot, man. You see it every day. Every day they're on a mission.
How do you build on a breakout game like that?
Just staying layers of focus. No matter what the outcome was last week. Last week is last week. I haven't did none this week. Just got to go out and get to work.
Proud of the game? How do you kind of look at that game and that performance?
I'm proud of the game. We won 1-0. We got the win. That's about it.
Woody, did your block that sprung CJ on a little run, did that get any extra love in the film session?
Yeah, it did. Just coming up and stoning the guy. That's what you want to see out of a running back. I think the O-line loved it more than we did. So.
And what did they think about it? What kind of comments did you get?
That was just me recognizing it was what we talked about all week. If you press, it's probably coming, and it happened. Just going over my keys and me being a rookie to figure that out. It was coming. It was excellent.
Way back in training camp, you and I talked about your top priority, and you mentioned pass protection. You said that was number one. Where did that come from? Why do you know that's so important to your job?
We kind of had a thing. No blocking, no rocking. So you're not blocking, you ain't getting that rock. So you got to block so you can stay on the field.
When you say you had that, where?
We had it at Mississippi State and USC.
Gotcha.
How do you approach this key road game against Baltimore, a team that has a tradition for defense, maybe not ranked as high this year, missing some people, but just how do you approach the Ravens game?
Me personally, I'm approaching it. I just want to come home for the win. Haven't won a road game in a year. Coming from college, so just want to get the feeling of coming back home on the plane, winning a game.
What does it mean when CJ says Woody is so Atlanta?
I would say for me, how I wear my hat. I don't put my hat all the way on. I wear it to the side. Yeah, guys ever seen like T.I., the rapper? I wear it just like him.
Are you a fan?
He also mentioned that if you had to embody somebody that was fully Atlanta, that you would be the example of that. What do you say when CJ says that?
I'll say probably the second one, probably like how I dress. Atlanta guys kind of dress. Got the hat. They always wear jeans, or like they got some basketball shorts on with a shirt, some slides on. If you want it, it's just a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Are you a fan of the show, Atlanta?
You said what?
Are you a fan of the show? Did you ever watch Atlanta, the show?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
What'd you think?
Oh, it was excellent. Excellent.
It's true, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
Do you think that the success you were able to have last week, you'll be able to build on that and kind of carry it on to this week as you try to, do more and more for the team?
I'll say team success comes with individual success. Guys blocking up front and on the outside, gonna give me my success. Just them open the gaps for me to run through. I'll say them guys is the real success here. We just the ones who come along for the success ride. So the O-line and the quarterback, we get out the backfield, all the backs get out the backfield. We gain that trust from him to throw us the ball, knowing if we got one-on-ones and we're going to be in the right space.
When you're getting used to the NFL, do you just feel better and better every week as you get those game reps?
Yeah, I'll say practice, training camp, I kind of got into my groove. Every day I kind of felt like I was getting better at something. Just me feeling myself. Actually going into college, it was the same way. But just going against that defense, I kind of felt like I'm well prepared. I can play in this league because there's great guys on that side. They're top defense.
Kind kind of taking that forward?
Yeah, I really just think, just executing like we did in the fourth quarter, and also just, having that confidence during the game. I think it really builds up, when you're able to go out there and execute the plays and execute your job. You're naturally going to make plays, and I think that's what, we saw in the fourth quarter. We were able to just make plays because we were doing our job.
You guys have gone up to Baltimore quite a few times in recent years, including in a playoff game. What, if anything, makes it hard to play there, and what's the mentality about playing them again in a game that both teams, with the way the standings are, really need this game?
Yeah, first I think, they have a great fan base. So, the stadium's going to be loud, so we're going to have to, execute on, whatever they, decide to do with the cadence. Doesn't really, matter to me. But I think really just mentality-wise, you really got to go in there. You just got to be tough. You got to execute. You really got to just play one snap at a time, and you just can't really let that fan in that crowd, get into really into the game.
Some of your teammates called the Christmas game embarrassing. They were upset about the score and just kind of the lopsided nature of the game. Do you hold on to that? I mean, is last year, or do you say, hey, you know what, we'll use that in some kind of motivational way?
Yeah, I think it's like 50-50. I think it plays a little bit into it. How you want to approach the game, and also, I think that was last year, and this is this year, so you can't really let that carry over too much. But as far as just what they did to us and how they played, they came out and they really they whooped us. So you don't forget those. Use it as motivation a little bit, but at the same time, this is a new team. That's a new team, and this is a new year. So you just gotta go out there. You gotta play your best.
Thanks for your time.
Yeah.
It felt good, just to go out there and finally get a win. That's what it's all about. Just gotta keep stacking.
You expect to continue the rotation, or?
I'm gonna be ready for whatever they want to do. It's up to them, but I just gotta go out there with my numbers called and perform.
What is it like rotating? Is it kind of hard to stay ready?
Not really. I'd say it's harder just not rotating, just be on the sidelines. But rotating's easier, when you're about to get in. So I don't think it's hard.
What do you feel like kind of turned the corner for you guys there in the latter part of the game?
Yeah, I just think we just found a rhythm. We just kept going, kept the run game going, and it finally started to break out a little bit. It started to show a little bit, holes were opening up, and I just think we just gotta find our identity, and I think we started to find it a little bit.
Some of your teammates called the Christmas game embarrassing.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a year later. Do you carry it with you? Use it as motivational fuel?
Yeah, no, we definitely remember what happened when last time we played them. So it's definitely something on our minds, but we just got to focus and prepare, do whatever we can to be 1-0 this week.
You ever feel like there's with Woody's kind of maneuverability? Looked like, oh man, I'm not sure what's going on behind me. Next thing you know, he's bounced it outside.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's kind of a nice skill that he has. That he utilizes pretty well.
Woody's good. He's getting his opportunity, making the most of it. But we saw that during camp. Woody making plays, whether it was catching or in the run game. So I'm excited for him. I expect more from him for sure.